Hello, everyone. Once again, we'd like to welcome everybody back to the uh, online fellowship. Um, Making sure that there's no connection issues. So, hello once again, and again, welcome back. We tonight, I'm gonna touch on um, something that I began talking about in the last video, and instead of waiting to put this in its own video, hello Blanche, good to have you back. Instead of waiting to put this in its own video, I'm actually going to lead the fellowship on this subject. So we talked about this last video to introduce it. Okay. Let me let you see. North Carolina General Assembly and Senate. Okay. North Carolina, the state, has their own General Assembly. Hello, Wally. Finally on time. Yeah, y'all don't know just how much work this takes. And it's literally over almost, if not going on, if not over, going on 3,000 hours. But anyway, yes, try to get here at 7 o'clock. But North Carolina has a General Assembly. And I had shared this the last time. And look at what we have. We have committees from the General Assembly. Appropriations on Transportation Committee with a co-chairman. Transportation Committee with a co-chairman. Appropriations and a committee / Base Budget Committee. Commerce and Insurance Committee. Finance Committee. Joint Commission on Governmental Operations Committee. Rules and Operations of the Senate Committee. These are all committees. Now, what you don't see is how large these committees are. And let me let you see how this closes out. Okay, let me cover that. Let me let you see how it closes out. Look at this. Wait a minute. So here, again, it is my pleasure to represent you in North Carolina state government. Now, with that in mind, Hello, Janine and Jamal. Glad you can make it. Glad you're enjoying some of the Bible studies, Janine. It is a lot. It's very intense at times. We slow it down so that everybody can understand what we're saying or jump in with questions. Um, Jamal says, I found the information we were talking about yesterday. Okay, let me know if we need to cover some of that. But here's the point. North Carolina General Assembly. Now, with this in mind, I just wanted you all to see what a General Assembly is and what a General Assembly does. The General Assembly has committees. And yes, Blanche, you are right. Alicia did say that they were on a committee. North Carolina came up, but I'm not sure. That's where Alicia was from. Alicia is in North Carolina, and I believe they're at the house in North Charlotte. And they did say that they were on a committee. So for those of you who look it up, there is a board of directors for the McCullough Scholarship College Fund. And they take up funds in order to donate to people and help them with their fees for college. The problem is, as I've said, with all of these other fundraisers, even the scholarship fund is a scam. Everything in the House of Prayer is a scam. And for that reason, we need to set up what needs to be done in the General Assembly. Again, this General Assembly should look as important and as real as this one. Our General Assembly literally, look at this. This is 2022. This is our General Assembly. Okay. Roll call, minutes, election of secretary, amendments to the Constitution, benediction. That short order of business. This would not fly inside of this General Assembly. This House of Prayer General Assembly order of business, quite frankly, is illegal. I'm going to say that again. The order of business in the General Assembly of the House of Prayer is illegal. And I'm going to add, in my opinion. Again, I'm saying that because outside regulating agencies, they're going to have to determine that in order for them to do something about it. I cannot tell them that this is illegal. I can tell you all that my opinion is this is illegal. Now, from everything that I know and everything that I've seen, this cannot be done in any legitimate General Assembly. This would get laughed at. This would get kicked out, which is why members, non-members, friends, we are being laughed at, the organization, while people are wondering what in the world is going on. because this is not anywhere near what an agenda would look like for a General Assembly meeting. This is a complete joke. So for our members to be told to come and have roll call, be there at 9 o'clock, to have orientation, roll call around 12 o'clock, and you're really not going to start until the CEO arrives, until 1, 2 o'clock. Until then, y'all can take a nap. When they arrive, you're not going to do anything except hear a bunch of stuff. Aren't we having a good time? We're here to enjoy ourselves this weekend. That's pretty much it. Oh, by the way, council, y'all have a song to sing to me to show me how much you love me and appreciate me? You do? Okay, let's pause and stop right here so we can hear their song. Get y'all's white gloves on. We thank you for being who you are and taking our money over and over. That's what's going on. And the members are sitting here loving and in adoration of whoever's sitting in that seat. And we're looking at the council and then can we get a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Can we have somebody come and give us a benediction? Now may the grace of God, sweet communion is holy. And we're over. It's done. And another year went by, and the people of the house of prayer has done nothing. No business got done. Nothing was talked about. Nothing was handled whatsoever. And that's exactly what the bishop, Miss Dolores Madison, the general counsel, and all these pastors, that's exactly what they need you all to do so that they can go for a whole nother year and try to come back and do it over again. They need you to not say nothing about this nonsense. Now, when we get into this week, I'm going to show what a real General Assembly is about. And when we do, I want you to understand the amount of work that a real General Assembly gets into. When it comes to the General Assembly of the state of North Carolina, listen to what they take care of. First of all, excuse me. One second. There's some foliage and it's in the air right behind our balcony. One second. We have a lot of business getting done by the General Assembly in North Carolina. Denise says, we talked about that, the Bible study. Didn't know it was like that. Yes. Keep coming. We're going to cover a lot more. Jamal says, found the information. Blanche, 2 nights ago, I thought Alicia said they were in committee. Right. I'll send you the link through email in case you want to show the video. Okay. Blanche is very selective if given out at all. Yes. Information pertaining to any information in the house of prayer, they're not going to touch any business whatsoever. When it comes to any business that's being done, they're not going to give that to the members to take care of because it takes power from them. So the members in the organization, we are told to simply come and sit, be quiet, take a nap, go to sleep, and just play your role. Your role is to do what we tell you, to vote when we say vote the way we say vote, and other than that, pretty much be quiet, sit down, and when we say clap, clap. When we say laugh, laugh. When it's time to go, you're going to leave, and that's your General Assembly, and yay, thank you for another year. That's what's been going on year after year after year. So anything that they give you is going to be very selective. There's not going to be any business. We're going to change that. By the time we're done going over what we're going over, you will know what to expect in the General Assembly so you can I'm going to tell you as we get closer, but we're going to hone in on all this information that you need for the General Assembly. And again, we're going to prepare you for Robert's Rules of Order, and we're going to pick apart this week the Supreme Laws and the Auxiliary Bylaws, and we're going to touch on the Are You Aware? Then we're going to get into Robert's Rules of Orders. Tonight, I'm expressing to you all the difference between a real General Assembly and a fake one. This is fake. This is the House of Prayer General Assembly. There's nothing on it. There's literally nothing. Roll call, it's nothing. Minutes of the last General Assembly, y'all not going to hear it because they're not going to read the minutes. They don't ever read the minutes, which is also illegal. It is illegal to have a General Assembly and the members are not hearing the minutes. That's illegal. And I'm going to show you how this is all supposed to be set up. So with that in mind, when they talk about the minutes and then an election of a secretary, when each one always come off the general counsel, that's called a conflict of interest. We don't have a conflict of interest clause in our Constitution, but the members don't know what a conflict of interest clause is. We're supposed to have a recusal clause so that people can recuse themselves from certain situations so that it does not become a conflict of interest. Because a conflict of interest can always be challenged officially inside of a meeting, and then it can be stricken or it can be made null and void. So my point is that the members have no clue what's going on because this organization does not train their members. Now, watch carefully. Where you see amendments to the Constitution and bylaws, they're telling you in this meeting today, we are going to have amendments. You will never see that on a real General Assembly agenda. You will never see that on a real General Assembly agenda. This is fake. This is real. Where you see a General Assembly that has committees, you see a General Assembly that has different bodies and subcommittees and different chairmen for each and every committee, because The committees are made up of several members. I told you all that a sole trustee, their job as a sole trustee is to be in charge to make the decisions of a small startup company. A sole trustee should be preparing to bring on additional staff by the time they pass $100,000 in income. By the time they get to a $250,000 at 250,000, they should have already set up a board, 3 people minimum. By the time they pass $1 million profit, that company needs to increase their board to 5 to 7 members. Why? Because of the amount of responsibility that you're going to now be faced with, since your company is obviously growing and becoming more and more productive. And you're producing more to help the nation's GDP, gross domestic product. By you growing now, the government will begin to assist you, depending on your numbers, depending on your income, depending on the size of your company, depending on your output, depending on the number of employees that you have. They will help you. Therefore, you need to make sure that you're set up, and everything that you do when you're set up is completely transparent as you build your company's portfolio. At $250,000, the IRS does not want to see a sole trustee. You can begin to modify your company legally, but one person on your board at least should be somebody who understands the law, especially a nonprofit law expert. It needs to have someone who's knowledgeable about the law of the land and contract negotiations and all of that as well. And we're not talking about, like we have in the House of Prayer with these lawyers, individuals that's working along with the leadership of the organization, but what they're doing is advising and counseling, and it looks like they're advising and counseling them of how to skirt around the law. It doesn't look like they're advising them on how to abide by the law and within the law. And I say that because, just as an example, when I wrote a letter as a proposal, look at the date, March 2024, Joseph Lewis. Okay, House of Prayer letterhead. Mr. Cunningham, Bishop. Look at what it says. 1 second. I'll let you all see. I have receipts. Look at what it says. Peace, Brother Lewis. Documentation you sent to the General Assembly Secretary was received on March 18th, 2024. Please note that this is not a proposal for the General Assembly. Yours in grace, Apostle E.L. Thompson, Assistant General Assembly Secretary. Now, I sent a proposal in 2 years in a row. They threw it in the trash. It did not go to the members of the House of Prayer. But now we have here, again, showing you receipts. Here, Constitutional Revision Committee, General Assembly, May 2024. The Constitutional Revision Committee for the General Assembly of 2024 submits the following proposal. So wait a minute. My proposal, that's also included here, my proposal did not get accepted. It got rejected. It got thrown in the trash by our bishop and his staff. But their fake proposal, unlawful proposal, illegal proposal, not only is it written up, but it's forwarded by none other than Mickey Bailey. So when I say that a company needs to have a lawyer and people with expertise of the law, I don't mean lawyers like this. I don't mean lawyers like this. We also have a couple of others. Carol Jackson is working up there as well. We have her name plastered all over all kinds of documents on behalf of the bishops of the House of Prayer. I don't mean we need lawyers like this, because what they're doing, let me let you see it. For those of you who don't know, here, this committee recommends that the present Constitution and bylaws of the United House of Prayer, as amended in 2022, continue in full force and effect, with the exception of the following revision. Now, what they revised was this. Article 6, bishops. At the end of section 4, add a new section as follows. Section 5, the chief executive officer and spiritual advisor of this organization, which he can't be a spiritual advisor to the organization because, well, I guess he can really, except he's not advising you spiritually from above. If you're going to take his advice, then you're getting consultation from below, because the fruit on this tree is completely corrupt. So he's not my spiritual advisor, even though I'm still a member of the organization. I do not take any of his advice. I don't take none of the advice of any of the pastors. I don't take none of the advice of any of these councilmen, because all of their advice would be that of corruption. If anything, they need to be taking my advice and anybody else's advice who's telling them that they need to get themselves in order, because pretty soon people are going to be singing songs. Anyway, let me finish this. I don't want my words to be taken out of context, but this is what it says. Spiritual advisor of this organization shall be designated as bishop, and the present bishop, A.D. Cunningham, shall hold the office for the period of his natural life. Now, this is what Miss Mickey Bailey assisted in helping them do, to put this together, and then sent it out, working on the Constitution Revision Committee. Mr. Cunningham worked on the Constitution Revision Committee, along with Jimmy Jones. And just so you know, instead of showing you copies, look, I have the original, red and white. Okay, here's my name. This is my letter coming from Mr. Thompson. This is the original. And I have other letters that I sent to Mr. Cunningham. Now, mind you, what is my point? My point is that I'm transparent. I don't have nothing to hide. And the things that I'm sharing with you all and the organization is that we have been having people running circles around us. And the whole time, this whole thing has been fake. The General Assembly is just a sideshow. It is not real. It is not real. And therefore, as a result of the General Assembly not being real, our members have literally been the subject of a whole lot of games being played. And while the games are being played, we're the ones being completely taken advantage of. And while we're being completely taken advantage of, the leaders have been laughing at each and every one of us. So, with that in mind, we need to prepare for the next assembly so that for the first time in the history of the House of Prayer, we are seriously walking inside the door to handle business. Because up until this point, we've seen that what they call lawyers putting Esquire beside their name, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're abiding by the law. It doesn't mean that you have a clear grasp of the law. It doesn't mean that you understand the law. And it doesn't mean that you know how to use the law. We're seeing individuals who are supposed to be abiding by the law, advising within the law, telling you what you can and cannot do regarding the law. We're supposed to be seeing those individuals tell the leaders of the organization, you can't do what you're doing. You can't do that. But instead, we have people telling them not only can you do it, I'm going to assist you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to work with you and help you so that I can use my credentials to convince the members of the organization that everything's fine. It's okay. We know what we're doing. Look, by the way, I'm a lawyer. So you can trust us. And I'm telling you, members, that's where we all went wrong. Trusting these individuals. That's why I made that video. The harm in blindly trusting trustees. And I showed you what happened with Rocky Balboa, who lost all his stuff. Now, mind you, I want to show you this before I go into North Carolina's General Assembly. Here, this is about the Constitution. And I want you to see the second line. Written in 1787, the Constitution was signed on September 17th. But it wasn't until 1788 that it was ratified by the necessary 9 states. What that means is the people didn't pass it until the following year, even though it had already been written. I need you to understand this. It was written in 1787, but it wasn't passed until 1788. It was even signed. Look at that again. It was signed on September 17th, but it wasn't ratified until 1788. What this is saying is it was already put together, but the people didn't pass it until later. Now, when they came together, they understood what their job was. They knew they were coming together to create a constitution that the country is going to pretty much lean on as it governs them. Look at what it says, highlighted version, part. The U.S. Constitution was prepared in secret behind locked doors that were guarded by sentries. It was done in secret. Most people don't know this stuff. It was done in secret. And the group of men who did it in secret, they understood what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. Look, let me go a little further. Look at the second. Some framers. Here. Some framers, delegates in the state ratifying conventions, were very troubled that the original Constitution lacked a description of individual rights. In 1791, a list of rights were added. The first 10 commandments became known as the Bill of Rights. They wrote a constitution in secret that did not include rights for the people. The people who put it together did not include in the Constitution the fact that people have rights. So people went back and they amended it. Watch carefully. Listen. Of the 55 delegates attending the Constitutional Convention, 39 signed it, and 3 delegates dissented. 2 of America's founding fathers didn't sign it. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. They saw something that moved them to say, no, wait a minute. I'm not sure about this. 2 people. 2 people. Now, I need y'all to understand this last part. The U.S. Constitution, the oldest delegate was Ben Franklin. He was a delegate. If you know the name, then think about this for a minute. Do you think Benjamin Franklin is going to walk into a General Assembly to handle business about a constitution and sit there for 3 or 4 hours waiting on somebody to walk through the door so that Ben Franklin can sing, I'm calling George, he's my rock, he's my rock, he's my George Washington, and then sit back and just listen and admire him while getting nothing done, only to leave and go back and tell everybody, well, we got there such and such a time. We looked around, we saw everybody. Mr. Washington came on inside and we had a beautiful time, sung him some songs. And then the next couple of days, we had crossed the Potomac and we went over to across the Delaware, went over and through the Potomac, and we enjoyed ourselves traveling and touring the streets of Washington. That's his minutes. Nothing gets done in our General Assembly. Here's the last point I want to make. I'm gonna let y'all read it. The original. No, let me go down. More than 11,000 amendments have been introduced in Congress. More than 11,000. More than 11,000. Only 33 have gone to the states to be ratified, and 27 have received the necessary approval from the states to actually become amendments. Over 11,000 amendments they went through, but they never became actual amendments to the Constitution, which means they were all proposals, over 11,000 proposals. But I need y'all to think about this. Why is it that every single proposal coming from the bishop through a constitutional revision committee, every single one becomes an amendment. And hardly any of the proposals that come through proper procedures, why is it that they never, hardly ever become an amendment? Why is it that proposals like mine that go through proper procedure to get to Washington are not sent out to the rest of the organization for you to look at so that y'all can't vote on it? You don't even know nothing about it. Because as I showed you, this is not a proposal for the General Assembly. Oh, no, no, no. So when I write a proposal to pull the bishop into questioning so that we can prepare for a trial, since I have evidence to show he's been violating our laws, manipulating our Constitution, along with the assistance of the General Counsel and the General Assembly Secretary, when I use the law and go through proper channels, oh, that's not a proposal for the General Assembly? But when someone who has Esquire behind their name, who's working in the dark, along with the bishop, along with the senior minister, along with a minister, another minister, Mr. Jones, Mr. Cunningham, and sitting there with a judge, whenever they get together in the dark and write what they refer to as recommendations that don't go through proper channels, and then they end up being put on the General Assembly floor by the General Assembly Secretary, unlawfully, I might add, every single one of them become amendments. Members, I'm telling you, we have to fix this. These constitutions are not laws. These constitutions are orders written by bishops, approved by them after this hand-selected committee that they put together went into a room to talk about how we can fix and change the Constitution. Let me allow you to understand what I mean. When we see for those of you who said, but wait a minute, you didn't show us that paperwork. Let me let you see this. Because again, I don't have anything to hide. So this is what I sent. Okay. Bishop A.D. Cunningham, to you and all other interested parties, from Brother Lewis, regarding my proposal and charges against the bishop and the General Counsel. Dear Bishop Cunningham, by now I'm sure you have read or heard of my letters to the members about my charging you and the General Counsel with violations of our laws and rules of the faith. I let it be known in those letters that I will be sending you a copy of each one that I send out to them. Now, my point to you is, I don't have anything to hide. I've been out on Front Street the whole time while Mr. Cunningham is running all around the organization, acting like I am lying on him while he's lying to you all on me. Let me let you see what I mean when I talk about hand-selected groups of people by these bishops. Here, it says, Constitutional Revision Committee, General Assembly, May 22nd, 2009, the Constitutional Revision Committee of the General Assembly. There is no such thing. That is a lie. But it's put there to give the impression to anybody and everyone that the House of Prayer leadership is operating under the scope of law. The problem is they're not. These are blatant lies in the front of everybody in the House of Prayer and anybody who checks and verify this work. There is no constitutional revision committee of the General Assembly. Now look at how this is worded. This committee consists of the following members. Look at what it says. Appointed by our presiding officer and chief executive officer, Bishop C.M. Bailey. They're appointed by the bishops. Apostle Howe was the chairman that year. Apostle Wynn, look who else? Apostle Cunningham and Apostle Green. And here we go with another attorney, Deneen Banks. Do y'all understand what I'm telling you all when I say that they've been doing this for a long time, working behind the scenes, in the shadows, behind the backs of the members of the House of Prayer? Mr. Cunningham been doing this since 2008 was when he first became the General Assembly Secretary. So naturally, 2008 or 2007. So naturally, it's only right to have him on the Constitutional Revision Committee. But to be on that committee, the job of whoever's on that hand-picked and appointed committee, their job is to go into the Constitution and rig it and pick apart things that's going to benefit the bishop and not benefit the members. Let me show you what I mean. If you keep reading here, he gives himself away. Look at what it says. Around April 1962, Mr. McCullough updated our Constitution and bylaws. Who did it? Not the people. It says Mr. McCullough did it. Mr. McCullough's ownership, apostrophe S, his constitutional review and update was consistent with the advice given him by the U.S. court, blah, 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 lies, lies, lies. And it says his constitutional review. What does that mean? That means he put a committee together. Okay. Now, Mr. Madison also appointed a constitutional revision committee to conduct the so-called review and updated the Constitution and bylaws. So he's saying that he's following the same thing during this quote unquote present review. And he's saying this review was assigned to this present Constitutional Revision Committee, appointed by the authority of the presiding officer of the General Assembly. Again, these are not committees put together by the members. These are assemblies put together by bishops who are assuming responsibility and the authority to do what they're doing illegally. But by the time they're done, what we're looking at is a complete work where what we're looking at is a complete work where they say we have recommendations. And these recommendations, mysteriously, every single time it's done, keep ending up in our Constitution. Now, Mr. Benjamin Franklin, he's not going to go to no General Assembly meeting and allow the Constitution to be decided, to be changed, to be fixed, to be altered or modified, and have it signed. And then he's going to come in there and just vote whatever y'all say. Go ahead. I'm all for it just because I like you and you happen to be my spiritual advisor. That's not going to happen. When you look at the state of North Carolina General Assembly, they're not going to walk in there and just sit back and just agree to a bunch of stuff. Here, members, before we go into the comments, I want you all to understand what it is that the North Carolina General Assembly actually does. So I'm going to read to you what it is that they actually do. Full list: North Carolina House Committees in the General Assembly. They have a large number of standing committees, plus they have subcommittees. They have a committee called Budget and Finance, a subcommittee called Appropriations. And under that subcommittee, they handle education, health and human services, transportation, justice and public safety, general governing, and capital, money. They deal with finance, pensions, and retirement. They have another committee that deals with the law and the courts, and 4 areas of that committee: judiciary 1 through 4. They have another committee, education, where they handle K through 12, grade school, community colleges, and universities. This is a committee that deals with all of the business with that in itself. Another committee that handles health and human services, health, healthcare reform, families, children, aging, and senior citizens. That's a whole nother committee. They have another committee that deals with infrastructure and economy, transportation, commerce, economic development, agriculture, energy and public utilities, environmental service. This is all under a different committee. Each committee has its own staff. Each staff has its own chairperson. There's another committee, Government and Operations. Under Government and Operations, they deal with state government, local government, federal relations and American Indian affairs, military and veteran affairs, and homeland security. A whole nother committee. There's another one that deals with process and control, rules, the state yearly calendar, and operations of the House of Representatives. There's another committee dealing with ethics, elections, election procedures, election processing, redistricting, dealing with what people need to be placed in what district that's going to serve in our elections. They have a whole nother committee, oversight and miscellaneous. And the oversight committee provides oversight to check on everybody and every single office on what you're doing, how you're doing it, who you're doing it with, how much money are you spending, every single allocation, every single dime, every single budget, how it's being dispersed, who it's being dispersed to. Are you following the budget? Are you over budget? Are you under budget? That's a whole nother committee. That's not all. The Senate has its own additional committees, which is a part of the General Assembly. They deal with their own committees by itself. And under joint committees, you have Joint Legislative Commission on Governmental Operations, Legislative Ethics Committee, who look into ethics, anybody who's involved in anything immoral or anything illegal or anything that's not quite up to par with honesty. Economic development oversight, education Oversight Committee and a Health and Human Services Oversight Committee. They have oversight on oversight on oversight committees, providing oversight on every single thing. Now, the most powerful committee are appropriations because they deal with the money. And if they have a problem with you, all they're going to do is decide to cut off your money supply. They're not going to budget anything to you. That's appropriations. They control the money. They dictate whether or not you're going to get a dime for anything. Anything. And that committee is on the General Assembly. Period. They have a finance committee and they handle taxes, income, sales, corporate, economic incentives. They control how money comes in, and they can stall bills that go through the assembly in the case they have a problem by actually impacting the finance portion of that bill. They have judiciary committees, which handle civil law, constitutional law, and criminal law. These are the gatekeepers for controversial issues, right? We have nothing. And the most powerful and the biggest committee that has the strongest support is the Rules Committee. The Rules Committee, they deal with setting the House rules. They deal with the calendar and the operations of the House. They deal with setting up the rules and the operations of the Senate. And they matter because they're the ones who decide which bill gets a vote. They can block legislation without saying a word. And they're controlled by chamber leadership, not nobody else. No one else controls them. Now, why am I sharing all of this about North Carolina's various committees in the General Assembly of North Carolina? Because, as I said before, a sole trustee is what you're going to find in a startup company, a small mom and pop shop, working out of a shed in their backyard, selling trinkets. But they do good and their product blows up. And now instead of an additional $18,000 that they made that year, the $18,000 next year, they do pretty good, and it increases to $46,000. Now they hire a grandson and a nephew to just part-time work, help them out. But it increases their sales. And now their sales is up $94,000. Now they're looking at, okay, we're going to need some serious help because we got too much and we don't have enough space. So then they decide to rent an office, a small 10 by 30 with a desk, posters on the walls to show you their product downtown somewhere. Now they got business expense. Now they have zoning issues they got to deal with. Now they have inspectors that they're going to have to deal with because you have to keep up with codes as well. You have permits. And if you're downtown, now you got to deal with more statutes because of where you're located. So now you got to deal with stuff that you didn't think about before, issues that you don't know nothing about. So now it's time to hire someone. And it works. The next year, now you're up $204,000 for the year. Now somebody's going to advise you because you need to have an accountant, and your accountant's telling you, okay, now y'all getting serious. You probably want to move from sole trustee and pull some people together to get you a small board so that they can operate on this area and give you your time back so that you can concentrate on how to continue growing your company because y'all not just a small mom and pop anymore. This is how I don't want to say her name. This is how people start off small and they increase. And all of a sudden now you got somebody out of nowhere and now their name is circulating around the country because now they've grown and they have a business and people are blowing them up. By the time you get number one, number two, number three offices set up, you left sole trustee long time ago. Sole trustee means you're going to operate and manage everything. You're going to make decisions on everything. You're going to determine and decide everything. You're overseeing everything. The problem with the sole trustee is there's nobody who's overseeing you. And since you have statutes and regulations and laws that you must comply with, they want to see you are abiding by the rules. And that's why, number one reason to ditch the sole trustee and bring in a board. That's your first step as you continue growing. If you want to transition over into a membership typed governance, that's where your general assemblies come in. For profit, all of them, for the most part, operate under a board of directors. Most of the time, now you're dealing with shares in the company. But a nonprofit, eventually they might have a board, but as long as they keep growing and growing and growing, they will probably end up with a general assembly, especially when you're dealing with a membership operated organization. And how we go past $250,000 for the organization and hold on to a sole trustee, and we reach a $500,000 mark and still have a sole trustee, and we reach $1 million mark with a sole trustee, and 5 million, 10 million with a sole trustee, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 with a sole trustee, $100 million nonprofit, and we still have a sole trustee. I need y'all to understand. $200 million organization. And we can't say that's not the case. Lewis is just making up numbers because Mr. Madison put out $445 million when he went around and renovated all of the houses of prayers in the organization. That was just the houses of prayers. We're not talking about the apartments and the housing projects. We're not talking about the shopping centers and the plazas. We're not talking about the retail leasing centers. We're not talking about the office buildings that he built. That was $445,000 just for the renovations of the houses of prayers. And nobody who's smart when it comes to investing is going to put half of their money and throw it into something, not knowing what's going to come back. And again, that's not including all the other projects that was going on. So if the house of prayer renovations was $445 million, that's $500 million. And then all the apartment complexes and the condominiums and the single family home developments, all of that on top of with the retail centers and the shopping plazas, we know we're over $1 billion now. What is your point, Lewis? Over $1 billion? $1 billion organization, nonprofit, 501c3, and you still have a sole trustee who's making all the rules, who's deciding every decision, who's dealing and dabbling and wheeling and moving, and no oversight. Access to all the funds, all the accounts. Do anything that they want. With nobody to question them, nobody to check on you. Now, a General Assembly of the state of North Carolina with all these different committees. Are y'all beginning to understand why our maintenance department is a joke? Are y'all beginning to understand why the buses keep breaking down? Are y'all beginning to understand why there is no updating or upkeeping of the facilities? Why you're dealing with faulty wiring? Why you're dealing with the problems inside of the apartments with infestations? Why you have loose foundations and cracks running up and down the walls? Why you're dealing with stuff running out, stuff being broke, stuff not repaired, stuff failing, stuff falling, stuff caving in. We had a member who fell through the floor in her bathroom into the apartment underneath of her. How is all this possible? Because you're dealing with one person trying to run $1 billion organization by himself with no help. Members, what are we doing? This is what Hosea 4:6 looks like. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And we have the audacity to be boasting and bragging to people about we got this, we got that. We talk about buses, but every time you take them, they're sitting on the highway somewhere for 4 or 5 hours waiting for another bus to come to offload those members to put them on that bus. We had one incident where the bus left the city, didn't get out of the city. They pulled over after they visited the event. They pulled over on the road. Then they had to wait 7 hours for another bus to pick them up. And if I'm not mistaken, after that bus picked them up, that bus broke down. Members, one man cannot possibly run $1 billion organization, which is why they start advising people at $250,000. You don't walk into anything letting them know, well, I'm a sole trustee organization. And on paper, $1 billion? All over the country, all this property. And you make a call to Portal Drive or the staff because there's an issue with the roof. I was assistant pastor. We had a roof leak at Germantown. Over 8 months later, the roof is still leaking. Water pouring in like you're pouring water from a pitcher. 8 months. Come to find out, that same roof was having that leak for 2 years before I got there. You let one thing happen to any of the parsonages. One thing, if a light bulb go out, they're going to have a new light bulb there the next day. They're going to walk through that place 2 weeks before the bishop is on his way. Why is it that all these parsonages are kept up to par? Kept up to par. But the houses of prayers are falling down like London Bridge. The apartments are not being maintained at all. People who moved in as middle age are now our senior citizens. And those same apartments that they could easily run up and down the steps, they're now one step at a timing it to pull up as they hold on to a handrail because we have no handicap accessibility. We have no ramps. We have no electric seats. We have nothing whatsoever to consider the assistance of the senior members who've been here all these years, pouring and pouring and pouring their money into this organization. And we got these men traveling around to take, saying, thank you for your love. While these same senior citizens are walking to the house of prayer, pushing a walker. Some of them with tennis balls on the legs. Tennis balls on the legs to keep it from skidding out on the concrete beneath them so they won't fall. We've had members, senior citizens, who have slid and fell on ice, on sidewalks and parking lots because no one cleared the snow after a snowstorm. No maintenance, faulty door locks, broken lights, alarm systems, cameras, all kinds of equipments breaking down and nothing being done to fix, repair, or replace. But yet, I got a fine because the size of my lettering on an envelope to present G-class and love gift was a little too small. People, we have to wake up. I'm going to read, and then we go into the comments. I'm going to read what the CEO is responsible for. In the state of North Carolina, I'm going to use this as another example. I'm going to read what the governor has, and then I'm going to read the CEO. The governor has cabinet level agencies. There's a Department of Health and Human Services. That's a whole group of people. A Department of Health. You're talking about thousands of people. Department of Transportation. You're talking about thousands of people. Department of Public Safety. You're talking about hundreds of people. Department of Revenue. Department of Commerce. Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. Department of Environmental Quality. Department of Administration. Department of Military and Veteran Affairs. Department of Information Technology. All of these are departments that's under the governor with tens of thousands of people to help him or her. They have advisory councils and boards, economic advisory councils, health task forces, education commissions, emergency management advisory groups. They assist them in carrying out their responsibilities to the state in their office as a governor. The CEO of this organization acts as a governor. Now, here, again, we're talking about $1 billion organization, and the individual, the one person in charge, they're supposed to run the daily operations, implement strategies, oversee staff and programs, manage and execute budgets. They're supposed to deal with the budgeting and the audits over all of the finance. They're supposed to audit and show compliance and controls to risk committees, governance committee. There is none of this. Compensation committee, programs committee. This one person is doing all these things. This one person is supposed to have strategic leadership to set mission direction, decide programs and priorities, approve expansions or closures, determine long-term sustainability. All of these things, one person. You all tell me, do y'all think Mr. Cunningham is taking care of all of the responsibilities of this organization? Do y'all think Mr. Bailey was taking care of all of the responsibilities of this organization? Do y'all think any of the bishops, as a sole trustee, was taking care of all of the responsibilities of this organization, seeing to the well-being of the members? While they go around, remember, keep in mind, The General Council must call for a love march in every single service that the bishop is in. Why? Because as we learned in the Are You Aware, that is his compensation for what? His services to the members of the organization. But ever since I asked this question, it's never been answered. It's never been answered. What are the services and the responsibilities of the bishop of the organization? What are they? We don't have any. No one knows what the responsibilities or the services being provided to the members of the organization by the bishops are. No one. So my point is, every time they go out to service, why is a call being made for the members to compensate them? One more question. A General Assembly is supposed to have a board whose job it is to discuss, approve, and set up the compensation of the CEO. These bishops have set up their own compensation that the members never approved. There was no vote taken on whether or not we are going to have a love march every time the bishop sits inside a service and call it his compensation. The reason why they don't ever allow that money to be counted by the secretaries of each house is because it's too much money. They cannot lawfully or legally allow the secretary to count that money. You can't allow them to count it. It's way too much money. It is easy for the IRS and the governmental bodies to see that you have something going on in this organization that is called excessive compensation. Mr. Cunningham lives on the road. This is the first bishop that I have seen that literally, instead of Maybachs, instead of limousines, instead of chauffeurs driving cars, this is the first bishop that I've seen in my 45 plus years that I honestly believe it would be better for him to have a mobile home. It would be better for him to be in a recreation vehicle, a coach, a motor coach, because he lives on the road, hardly ever goes back home, constantly traveling from city to city, popping up on everybody. And he is the absolute most restless bishop I have ever seen. With that in mind, the question that begs to be asked is, why is he traveling so much? Why is he never sitting at Washington, D.C.'s 1665 North Portal Drive like all these other bishops did? Why is he constantly gone and nobody, nowhere knows where he is? He needs a coach. But we understand. I said all that to say this. If the money is reported by the secretaries. If it goes through our normal bookkeeping routine, our bookkeeping system, then the monies would have to be deposited. If that money was deposited into these banks, they would be instantly red flagging these accounts. And there would be immediately an investigation because the money would be too much. You going around the country, taking out of these cities all this money and depositing in bank accounts night after night after night, week after week after week. You coming in with all this money, cash money. You have to explain where this money is coming from. They cannot tell the bank, the IRS, or the government that we're getting all this cash from the members of the organization. They can't do it because legally you don't have a legitimate reason to explain all this money that you're getting. You can't say it's love gift because it's not. The people are not giving all this money because they want to. The people are giving all this money because they're coerced to give it. And people who don't want to be looked at the wrong way, who don't want to be talked about, who don't want to be whispered about, who don't want nobody side-eyeing them, who don't want to be feeling bad because the pastor up in the front is talking about them in a sermon. The pastor over here on the side got their name written on a list that he put on the pastor's door for all the members to see if this member didn't make it to his financial goal that he set that week. The members don't want to be embarrassed. The members don't want to be humiliated. The members don't want to be taken and made an example of while you're talking about the members who given in cabinet meeting and the members who not given in a house meeting. So they give until they've given out. If this money was being recorded, there'd be an investigation and we'd be hearing about it, probably on the news. That's why, for those of you who keep on asking, well, why all this cash, all these bags? Why? That's why. And instead of simply saying, we're going to stop this because we're not going to put anybody at risk, we're not going to put anybody in the middle of any issues, all they have to do is say, we're not doing it no more and stop it. But it's too much money coming in and there's zero accountability. So there's a little bit more about that I can say, but I won't. I just want you all to think about all this responsibility under one man's shoulders. And this man is literally popping up in different cities saying, I stopped by because I had you on my mind. You got way too much work to do to be popping up from city to city. Atlanta, Georgia, Charlotte, Miami, Columbia, South Carolina. Now, after the Midwest, all of a sudden you're up in Hartford, Connecticut, making rounds back up there again, coming back down. You were just there. Go home. Go home. It's over. These last few days or weeks, we're going to be putting out more and more and more. The members are going to be seeing more. They're going to be learning about what they should be doing and should be paying attention to with the law. And they're going to understand parliamentary procedure. So we're going to give a crash course in what needs to be done for the members to prepare to transition the organization. The transition needs to come from a sole trustee into a new governing system so that the organization can prepare to appear to be legitimate as we get things back in line with compliance. At the same token, we're waiting, and members, I don't want to keep telling you all this, but we're probably at that 8-week period where Mr. Cunningham's time is out to respond, and now they're preparing to make a determination. We might hear from them before we get to the General Assembly. No matter what we do here or not here, we're going to still be preparing our members to know what to do and what not to do in the General Assembly. So with that in mind, continue to think about what a governor does in the state and understand that one person cannot possibly do all this work. There has to be a whole lot of things going on that people really don't understand involving this money. And for one person to be over this entire organization, again, $1 billion organization with no accountability, no oversight, no checks and balance system. People, we have to do better. And I'm grateful to know that it's looking like we will. With that in mind, let's turn to the comments. I'd gotten down to Blanche Selective. Okay, MBNNC. Hello. This pollen and bipolar weather is coming for most of. Yes, I got hit out of nowhere today. Made a run and coming back in. All of a sudden, it just hit me. There's two areas that I've been in my travels in the country. I've lived all over. Texas and North Carolina. The foliage, people have allergies because of the type of foliage. The largest number, and I've been impacted by the foliage. Other than that, I've never, ever had issues like this, but I've seen it all over. So yes, love North Carolina. The living, the lifestyle is pretty laid back, but these trees, woof. 100% MBNNC. Miss Mintz, hello again, family. Peace abide. Good evening. The House of Prayer General Assembly is a total waste of time. Many members don't want to go because they know it's nothing but a waste of time. And you're right. You're right. However, this year, we're looking to change that. There's some things that we have up our sleeve that if you are a delegate, you are going to be excited. So we don't want to speak too soon, but you should be excited. If you're not a delegate, that should not stop you from going. Anybody that can make it to go and stand on the outside to just watch or wait to see what happens on the inside. To be there as a type of cheerleader, to support the delegates and let them know, listen, you are the ones who's representing the people. And all this stuff that's been going on, you have no choice but to go in there and do what you need to do. There's a clip that someone sent me here. And I need you all to look at this. I need you all to look at this.
I may be required to have a board.
Okay, so I'm going to let you see the caption. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you see the caption. And that way you can pull it up here. Oh, let me dim it. Every one of you, you need to see this. Warning to all church board members. And look at where you'll find it. The juice. What in the world does this say? Let me lighten it again. This is on the Juice Radio. Well, I'll just read it. The Juice Radio and Talk Show. And what this is an individual who put together this particular video, and it's talking about how many people who's on a church board may not be aware of the fact that you have a responsibility to your group. It's an hour and 22 minutes long, and it's about the young man named is Brian Carn. It said that he's a prophet, and it was sent to me, like I said the other day, because he just was charged, and he was just hit with, I think, 9 months of prison time. And he had evaded taxes, 600 grand. But this is to the members on the board of directors at the place of worship where he is. It's to them, because this individual wanted to make sure that they understand that you have a legal responsibility called a fiduciary duty. And your responsibility is to the members of that congregation. And your responsibility is to hold the leader accountable in his wrongdoing. That is your legal responsibility. And if you do not hold your leader, your pastor, your quote unquote reverend, your bishop, your evangelist, whatever they are, if you allow those persons to do whatever and you do absolutely nothing to stop them, to prevent them, if you assist them, it's worse. But you do nothing, you can and will be held liable because that's a responsibility that you've been given, and the law dictates that. So when he goes forward, the question is going to be, well, what did the board do to stop that? Now, this is why I'm saying this, and then we get back to the comments. And here, the general counsel has been acting like a board of directors. And the general counsel in the book is stated that you are the highest ecclesiastical body of the organization. And if the council has sat back and just watched these bishops run circles around this organization and did nothing. And the General Assembly secretary, who it says in the same laws that the bishop wrote to protect himself, there's clauses in there to make it look like it's legit because you're supposed to go to him and keep him in check. Well, that same law that they're using to protect him, guess what? It can be reversed and used against you because you did not do your part to hold him accountable. So, unfortunately, I haven't been saying it, but those same laws can come back and now haunt you, as well as the general counsel, and as well as the pastors of the organization who also sat there in the General Assembly for now 3 General Assembly sessions after May of 23, and did nothing. You can also be held liable. That video, everybody wants to watch. You don't have to, but if you do, you will learn so much based on some of the things that I've been saying. They confirm a lot of it. So peace abide. Yeah, it is a waste of time. However, this year, what we're doing is preparing everybody so it won't be. MBNNC, peace abide. Most want to get nominated to get that $400 stipend help with hotel and food. Shaking my head. A lot of people, it looks like what MBNNC said, it looks like a lot of people wants to be nominated as a delegate because they want the money that comes from the congregations to assist them with traveling to Washington. But how sad is that? Because the congregation is now being taxed to give money to the individuals to help them for their travel expenses to go to Washington. Here's your problem. Even with that, the travel expense should not be provided by the congregations. This is a mandatory meeting that's been set up by the bishops of the organization. And yes, it is called a General Assembly. But to have to go, the finances should come from the organization. It should not have to come from the members in the local congregations. And the finances from the organization should cover all of the expense. You should be able to just make reservations. An organization covers it, period. Because it's a mandatory meeting every year. But we have people all over the organization, they don't have enough money coming from the congregations to cover all the expenses. And this is why some of the members who go to the General Assembly end up sleeping in their car. We had someone share testimony with us how they're walking at night because they didn't have enough money to get a hotel for that night and then to stay over and make their way back. They just didn't have enough. And our members are given a lot. And some got to travel and come from all the way over from the West Coast, only to come there and get nothing done. Yeah. So people, again, we're going to prepare. Hopefully, this is the last one that the people, they have to deal with any nonsense. Because after this year, everything should be smooth as water. MBNNC, thank you. At Peace Abide, yes, so true. Miss Mintz, the General Assembly is bootleg. Golden Boy, hey. Baby Blue, hello everyone and family. How you doing? How you doing? Miss Mintz, good to see you, Baby Blue. Baby Blue, you too. Quality proof. Hello and peace. Quality of proof. Blanche says, I wonder if you can pass the bar using Cliff Notes. LOL. I smell really flowery. but that doesn't make me a, a flower. but, but it's so sad. Yeah, some people, it looks like they get by. Some people get by paying other people to take exams for them. Now, we don't know what in the world happened, but one thing we do know is we have people skirting around the law, having titles around their name, and it doesn't look like they know what they're doing at all. At all. Uh, and if they do know, it's just going to be that much worse for them. When these things come forward, oh, woe be unto you. Um, Thank you, Miss Mintz, laughing. Wally, 400 years of dehumanized slavery for our people in this country. Then we get a blink of freedom, and in the name of God, these leaders do this behind our backs. There's a home for people like this. Yeah, Wally, it's bad. It's so bad. But the good news is that we're here. The good news is things are being uncovered as we speak. More and more and more things are being uncovered. We're learning more, we're seeing more, we're finding out more. And the longer this thing is stretched out, I'm beginning to see that the benefit is uncovering things that we didn't know anything about. We would not have even known to look. So he knows what he's doing. And like I said, the longer it's stretched out, the things that y'all have no idea. And by the time we uncover some more things, ooh, oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Um, some of those on the committee have been itching to just try not to tell people the lies of him and her. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're here tonight. Please hit thumbs up, subscribe, and your notification bells for the channel. Thank you. Email address is we stand for right 2024 at gmail.com. Thank you so much. The lies of him and her. We appreciate you. Jesus is it. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Tiffany, yeah, Greensville, South Carolina is planning to build more apartments soon. It was on the news. Yeah. Um, we are going to see. There's a lot of plans being made. There's a lot of plans being made, and we're going to see how they unfold. So y'all stay with us. Stay tuned. Keep watching. Keep your ear to the ground. Keep letting us know, and we'll sit back and we'll see how these things pan out. But this is all the more reason, members. You need to get into the General Assembly and do what needs to be done to stop this. Unheard of. $1 billion organization, sole trustee, doing all this stuff. Unheard of. NBNC, maybe the oversight is a shadow government. Folks over that we don't know nothing about. The problem there is if that is true, it doesn't help them. Because if there is an oversight committee in place, then it is evident that there has been no oversight. The flip side of that coin is if there is an oversight committee in place, the members don't have any knowledge of the oversight committee. So when you have an oversight committee, the purpose is to be transparent, let everybody know it, so that everybody knows there's an oversight committee. And if there's a problem, well, now you know who to run to so that you can report the problem, and then they can go and look into the matter because they're the ones who provide oversight. But if the members of the organization don't know who your police are, who's doing the policing, then how can the members ever ever, ever call the police. So I think you may be right. There are people, apparently, that we did not know, who's in positions around the organization above people behind closed doors. At the same time, it looks like we have those same people who are in positions above people behind closed doors who are not coming out of those doors for a reason. And anytime you have police officers and they're not patrolling the neighborhood, and yet they're collecting a check every pay period, and the neighborhood never see the police officers, then eventually they can get busted for impersonating a police officer, because they are definitely not a police officer, right? Um, it looks like, feels like, seems like that they've set people up all over the place that none of us know anything about. And that's okay, because when it all comes crashing down, every single one of them will be in a position where they can potentially be held liable. And that doesn't mean a slap on the wrist. That means y'all getting hit extremely hard because they've been skirting around the IRS, they've been skirting around the federal government, they've been skirting around regulating agencies, and they've been skirting around the states. And most people sleep on the states. And that's where we're going to have some problems. So, like I said, sit back, just stay tuned and watch where this goes, because we're in for a crazy, crazy ride. It might get a little bit bumpy, but at this point in time, it feels like that this is what y'all paid your ticket prices for, right? For this old-fashioned wooden roller coaster that's coming up. Except for us on this side, it'll be entertaining. But for those on the other side, not so much. Not so much. 1 second. Let me grab, before I go any further. Let me see. So the idea also is this. Okay, no, that's not it. The idea also, for anybody who's in a position of hiding, they're not going to keep you hidden. If they can point the finger, they're going to point the finger. So you can either come out on your own. There's an opportunity for you to come out and call us, try to lessen whatever's coming, and it may be sooner than a lot of us think. We've been at this making videos since December 31st, 2024. So just been a year since last year up until now, a year and a half, going on a year and a half. But we've only reached outside. Keep in mind, remember, we reached outside 3 months ago. We reached out in January. It took about 2 to 3.5 weeks for them to respond that they received. And then after that, it took a few days we had a conference call with several individuals. And then there was a second call from another group with, and from there, the timeline would have been right around this time, going on 8 weeks. So we're waiting. If they come before General Assembly, no problem. We're good. If they don't, then it's on the members. Um, so when the members do what they do, the top, I'm going to show you all, tell you all what to do to remove the entire top tier of leadership. And that means everyone, everyone. Um, and all of that can be done just like that. Okay. And then we need to get busy to begin to set up the organization right after. Um, and that will take no time. We can begin the same day getting certain things done so that people will be in place to begin getting other things done. But it starts with that top. So again, no one needs to worry about, well, how are we gonna we'll get you there. This week we're going to give you more information. Next week we're going to start with Robert's Rules of Order, and then right after that we're going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Greenville, yeah. So again, these things that they're planning right now may not happen and unfold the way that they want. NB and NC, thank you for that comment. And yeah, there certainly might be other individuals that we don't know anything about, either over or around her. We're not excluding that. Miss Mintz, ridiculous. More apartments. Yeah, just another income stream for the folks at the top. Yes, and we're going to show y'all again. Don't let this bother you. This is good. This is good. This is good. Okay. Um, I can't say why though, but it's good. This is a good thing. So no problem. No problem. So we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Um, NB and NC folks in this kingdom ain't got nothing. Yeah, a lot of people being hurt and taken advantage of in here by the ones at the top. Broke down buses, broke down dorms, broke down apartments, broke down bathrooms in most of the house of prayers. Um, I mean, don't have anything. And that's also evident when you look at the organization, because all around the organization, from one house to the next, you see faulty equipment. A lot of problems all over the organization. But Mr. Cunningham and the council wants everybody to believe all is well, everything is fine. Just keep giving G class, your tithes, and love gift, and just watch what happens. Again, he says he want to build a house of prayer in every single state. How are you going to build a house of prayer in every single state, and you're not taking care of the ones that's here? Again, it makes no sense. Just like Mr. Commodore saying to have Mr. Cunningham, if you don't have him, you don't have nothing. Well, the problem with that, and I didn't go into this on that night in that video, but to claim that Cunningham is your everything, Mr. Cunningham, and if you don't have him, you don't have anything. I'm reminded of the disciples when they were asked, are y'all going to go too? When people left. When they left him, when the comment was made, except you eat of my flesh and drink of my blood, you shall in no wise enter the kingdom of heaven. People left him. This is a hard saying. Who can hear it? Well, he turned to them and asked, well, when you leave, will you leave too? The statement was made, well, whither shall we go? You have the keys to eternal life. Where are we going to go if we leave you? That's why I said to Mr. Commodore, what do you mean if? If he's not it, you shouldn't be saying that. You should have been sure before you co-signed with Mr. Cunningham. All these years, all that money, all this time, all those so-called sermons and testimonies, lifting these men up higher and higher and higher. Now you're on the ropes, telling the members, if this don't work out, you put all your eggs in his basket. I choose you, Cunningham, Mr. Cunningham, I choose you. But the disciples said, where are we going to go? If he is everything that you said he is, then you should have been sounding like those disciples. You should have been sounding like them. Well, where am I going to go? Mr. Cunningham saying, this is not your cup of tea, don't drink it. Go find some place that's suitable for you. But where are we going to go? If you are what you claim, then you are it. In all the world, there is nobody else but you. You said. You're the God on earth that he's using. You said. You were separated from Mary's womb. You said. You represent the second coming. You know who you are. You know that he sent you. There is no sending people away, not when you are the one man on the entire planet and every soul is in your hand. You can't send nobody away if the things that you're saying is true. The love of the Father is not going to send people who's looking for truth away from him. And if you have all the things that you claim, if you were the one good shepherd, if you were the good shepherd, you wouldn't be telling sheep, okay, if y'all don't like the grass over here in this field, then go find another field where you'll be comfortable. You don't have to eat the grass over here in this field. You don't have to drink the water over here from the stream that I lead you to. Go and find your own stream. Go find some other field. That's not the works of a good shepherd, not the good shepherd. The good shepherd, 99, is shy one of 100. The good shepherd will do everything he can to find that 100. But he's certainly not going to tell any of the flock, well, leave. My point, all these broke down buses, broke down dorms, broke down apartments, broke down bathrooms, all of this goes to show the type of shepherd, the type of so-called father, the type of leaders that's in this organization that boast and brag about their leadership, who's willing to travel around to take and take and take and take and take, but never put out. And have the pastors try to fix it. Gorilla glue or duct tape. That's the only thing that these men know how to use to band-aid the problems that's in these the houses around the organization. And it shouldn't be. Tiffany says, yep. And an article has stated the rent will be unaffordable for most people. That's because, Tiffany, what you're suggesting is accurate. This is not to do with the organization. This is not to do with the members. This is not to do with the people of Greenville that are affiliated with the House of Prayer. This is using House of Prayer property. There's a word for that called inurement. And we know that a lot of things are being used for personal gain, personal benefit. That's okay. But sit back, everybody, and watch how this thing unfolds. Um, so yeah, Tiffany is getting ready to be on. Ms. Mint says broke down kitchen equipment, NBNC, and broke down roofs apparently. And I tell you all, it looked exact. I was not exaggerating. I did not exaggerate. It looked like a garden hose without the handle. It looked like the power is turned on and water, like somebody standing on the rooftop with a garden hose, just pouring water inside this hole in the roof, a gaping hole in the roof, the house of prayer. They get a mop bucket and put down there, and it's inside. And they had to keep changing it out. Other cans and stuff sitting around. And this was on and on and on. I don't want to go into any more detail because it showed that pastors were doing some shady stuff with the money that had been given to handle stuff in other areas. And the money that had been given apparently was not enough to take care of the work because the work was shoddy work. They didn't send quality workers. For whatever reason, we always seem to be dealing with jacklegs, not real professional companies, but jacklegs. Well, members, y'all going to be surprised when y'all find out what's been going on there too. Miss Mintz, brothers and sisters, close your wallets. Yes, close your wallet. The very valuable advice. Close your wallets. MBNC, better not write Portal Drive requesting financial assistance to repair anything in House of Prayer. Pastor going to call for another offering for folks to pay to repair the roof or the cooking equipment, etc. Yeah, there's quite a few pastors that's taken up money to collect because they were told, well, you raise the money for it and then we'll approve it. And therefore, now the pastor's got to get busy taking up even more money from the people who's given hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in G class or love gift. And these are the same individuals that you're asking for a house offering, that you're asking for fast sacrifice, that you're asking for dues, uniforms, scholarship fund, scholastic achievement awards, grace aid, representatives, travel. I mean, people, we have less than 1 month, right around 3 weeks, to see what people are going to do and where the organization is going to stand after the General Assembly. People are coming, preparing for the weekend events. I'm going to go on a limb and tell people I would be sketchy about attending the various weekend events. The thing is with the General Assembly changing certain things, well, right after that, then we're going to need to set up other things. What that would mean is the time that would normally be used for all of the other normal events would be absorbed into reshaping the organization so that we can get in line with the compliance issues that we have with the regulating agencies. There's so many problems that we're having. And like I said, the people has been blocking the things that benefit you without knowing that you're blocking the things that benefit you. So again, I can't go into a whole lot of detail, but the some of the first things that would take place after this around the organization, the people would be in awe around the organization. The You all just don't understand right now what you're hindering. For those of you who have not been on board and paying attention now to what's coming out with all this paperwork and the documentation, I'm glad to see the what's going on in the participation, especially after we released the information about Mr. Murray. And now you've seen documentation showing that the general council members have been signing documents downtown in the benefit of the bishop and others that you don't know anything about. All these trustees all over the place that you knew nothing about. Um, People are just ready. People are ready. And so we'll see. And I'm going to keep on sharing that so that you all know that people are ready. Ms. Smith says mold is the issue. A huge, huge, huge issue. Huge issue. Someone I've seen in some of the apartments, um, spots, just a round black spot. I did not understand that was mold from a distance. And then other spots over a period of time, just spots. The grout in the tile of a restroom, where you see the white grout in between the tiles, when you see that's black, these are issues. And it's a dangerous environment to be inhaling the air that's being circulated where there's mold and mildew. That in itself is a huge, huge problem. When you look into other issues, you deal with rodents, mice. Most of the time, you don't even hear about the fact that some of these apartments you're dealing with bed bugs. And nothing being done except traveling around and taking the money that these pastors are raising for the bishops. Well, they say, thank you for your love. Members, look at Miss Mintz. How can people live like this? And the answer is some of them don't have a choice because they believed in the leaders. They believe them when they say, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. They believe them when they say, they're going to take care of it, they're going to take care of it, they're going to take care of it. It becomes a broken record. This is why I've said, y'all tell me, anybody who knows, post a comment to correct me if I'm wrong. There has been a commode in 6 and Elm Street House of Prayer. The restroom, the men's restroom, downstairs towards the back in that corner by what used to be Paul's kitchen and the pastor's office. There's a commode that's been out of order. Last time I said it was out of order for 22 years. Is there anyone that can confirm whether or not that bathroom is fixed yet? Or is it that piece of paper still saying out of order? We were in our house. We were in Mooresville, and I think we were there for, I think 4 years, 4.5 years, and same thing. We saw issues there that were never fixed. And it's not the smaller houses only. You look at some of the major houses on the outside, you can see the brickwork, you can see the steps, the tiles, staining, cracking, lime deposits. Once it's built, no nothing to maintain it. Um, and again, it's just a testament to what these people are saying, that nothing is going back into the properties, but everything's going for the bishops. And why is that? Because the sole trustee is the bishop, and he's making the decisions to take care of himself. And this is where the problem is. And all these decisions are going to benefit us because it's so easy to show that the decisions being made are to take care of the bishops. So what I'm telling you, members, is don't worry, sit back. Don't get mad. Vote for the delegates. Vote. Um, Miss Mintz, what we got is a problem. Yeah, we have a huge problem in this organization. A huge problem. Uh, MBNNC, suffering for the kingdom. You ain't know? Some people call it suffering for the kingdom. No, it's not suffering. It's not suffering for the organization. This has been our foolishness. This has been our own foolishness. Me too, me included. This has been our foolishness. And as a result of our foolishness, we have not been doing right for our own selves, let alone for the other members who we need to be showing all kinds of support for. I have to go through, I have a one, two, I have, let me say 2, 4. I can stack my books from the House of Prayer, stack them on the floor and pile them up. Um, they might reach on the floor maybe 6 feet. I'm looking at a stack and maybe 2 others. I might be able to stack 2 Truth and Facts calendars, Are You Aware, other books, epistles, letters written by bishops. And I'm trying to recall one of the books so I could show you, but instead I just get it ready for the next one. But these leaders are not doing, these bishops, what they said that they would be doing as a governor over the organization, and comparing them to a governor of the state who's taking care of all these things, this department, that department, that department, this department, that committee, this committee, this committee. We're going to commission this, we're going to commission that. If you pay attention, governors are just going, phone calls ringing all day long. And this meeting, that meeting, that meeting, this meeting, over here for this, over here for that. They're busy doing what? Taking care of the responsibilities they have to serve the people. You don't see 15 governor's mansions. You don't see governors spending money from the state left and right. There's a committee that approves of a governor's budget for every single thing he needs to do. Other people decide that. Sole trustee. Bye-bye. Gotta say bye, Felicia. Gotta say bye, Felicia. General Assembly. North Carolina General Assembly, they're not putting up with this stuff. They're going to come in there, they're going to get business done, they're going to be out. That movie clip, Meet Joe Black, that board of directors, they're not putting up with this nonsense. You can't answer my question? Okay. All of y'all, let's get a motion. 5 minutes later, vote it out. You're fired. This is how it's supposed to work. So all these problems that we're having, got to talk to the members. We got to fix this. So, Jay Banga, he cooking right now. Yeah. He cooking right now. Grateful for it all? No, I can't remember what that response would have been to. But I think that might have been to some of the problems that I was talking about. The buses not running, breaking down over and over and over. Members getting stuck on these buses, sitting there, right, 4 or 5 hours long. Now, y'all know, I'm telling you, some of y'all who was on some of these buses breaking down might be online. Confirm it for me. Let everybody know. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. Miss Mitch, Jay Manga, period. Yeah. Cooking. Facts. Slum landlords pointing out all these problems and houses that are so small, the stuff that people own is just piling up all over the place. I mean, I've seen small, but the size, oh, is bad. The size of some of the apartments are so small. And it's a shame because these bishops, they're just living lavish lives. And we have people who just supporting this. I give them money because I want to and defending it. I used to be one. Not anymore. Woke up. Quality of proof. If you expect wrongdoing, breaking laws, money laundering, tax fraud, and any other wrongdoing, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Thank you for posting that. Thank you for posting that. And everybody, you have that there. And what they're going to do is they'll take a report. And that will probably be it. They will take a report. And again, that might be it. But the phone number is there that you can call. Write it down. And if you're willing to report certain things, then there's your 800 number. Thank you for that quality of proof. MBNC lives on the road because he's on the run. Just constantly going. At times when people is expecting him to be, sitting back, relaxing in DC, resting up or whatever, they call it rest, but it's just a lie. They're not resting up because you're not doing no work. Where's the work? In traveling, going to places to collect bags of money. Where's the work? Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, so tired. Sitting in that chair up on that platform all that time, just holding that microphone, watching all them people dancing and stepping and singing to my honor. Oh, this is tiring, you all. That's not tiring. There's no labor involved. You're not lifting bags. You got people carrying your bags. You're walking. Where's the work? Um, so you shouldn't even be talking about resting, but people should be seeing you back in Washington because once you do a pickup, well, the members are not looking to see you 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later. Again, let me get back. I'm telling you, it's nothing but just that a grab bag to clear out the accounts that I told you all about. Um, Baby Blue has the excessive compensation from the bishop been reported to the FBI? I cannot honestly say um, the routes that we go are going to be a whole lot faster than major routes that others can go. So if other people reported it, they might have. I don't know. But on our end, we intentionally did not go the route that the public normally goes because that route is easy to tie it up. It's easy to stall things. It's easy to postpone going those routes. But the other routes, it's a little it's a little tricky to try to postpone these other routes and stall these other routes. Everyone need to also understand that the country is different today than it was 3, 4, 5 years ago. The country is different. We're not dealing with the same issues. We're not dealing with the same priorities. We're not dealing with the same priorities. Today, this country dealing with different issues. Um, so, whereas before you might have had a huge staff all over the place, now you're running with a skeleton crew. Remember, a lot of employees were laid off in the government. So quite a few things got stalled um, unintentionally. A lot of things got backed up. So they have to catch up. And where we land, wherever it is, well, eventually they'll get to it. And this is why we don't have a choice but to wait. Um, but yeah, I hope that answered your question, Baby Blue. MBNNC, fugitive. Yeah, that's what it looks. That's what it looks like. Quite sure, you know, you're not sitting still. Nobody knows where you are. Not letting the organization know anything. No transparency. Nothing. Um, it just looks like you're on the run. Many people saying that. NBNNC. I'm sure Murray knows where he be. Uh, yeah, it looks like Mr. Murray has been with him as he's traveled on the road, these different places where he's been seen. Mr. Murray is present, and we're still we're still looking to hear back from a few individuals working on a few things. I can say it that way. So as soon as we hear, then we'll pass along to you. Ms. Mintz, what services is he providing to the United House of Prayer organization? Absolutely none. I've been asking that question for, well, yeah, going on 3 years now. No one can answer the question, not even bishop staff, none of the pastors, none, nobody. Um, Miss Mintz, uh, like, be for real. He can't even fix the issues the buildings have. He's just getting paid for just showing up. Pretty much, yeah. The people, the people in the house of prayer have been on autopilot. Excuse me. Everything is just go, 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 go. So whenever he's on the way, y'all know what we got to do. Y'all know what we got to do. And the members are just conditioned to just jump right on in. Just jump right on in. So when he comes, he's picking up the money. And unfortunately, the chairmans have to keep pushing. The pastors have to keep pushing. And the only ones that may not, the only ones that may not know are the 1, 2, or 3-year-old pastors. They just have no idea how this whole thing works, how this goes. And the members who are sitting in the pews, y'all really don't have a clue whatsoever. This thing is running around y'all so much, and it is done intentionally to create competition and a sense of pride in each one of you. To be so proud to where you're not worried about what people say. To be so proud. And now they're at that point where there's no concern. It's all out in the open. So why should I hide it? And that's what they're doing. So, yeah, he's just coming. Thank you for your love. And for those of you working with the program for the upbuilding of the kingdom, he ain't building no kingdom. You see, buying more apartments. That's what this is, buying more apartments. Um, Baby Blue, billions of dollars over the years have not been reported to the IRS. Uh, I'm sure the numbers are astronomical. Um, I'm sure the numbers of are astronomical. And when we get into the income streams in of the organization, people, it's going to mess your head up. It's going to mess your head up. Um, Grateful for it all. Who wants to sit through a service focused on raising money all night? A lot of people, because they're not really sitting in a service. What they're doing is making eye contact. Okay, a lot of people are there, but they're making eye contact. And they're making eye contact because of other things going on whenever they travel. Miss Mintz, but you're right. Grateful for it all. Quite a few people are tired of the money, 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 money raising. And you'll even see some of them get up and walk out. The ones who are local, there for the service, you'll see them get out. And some people who drove from a distance, you'll see them get up and walk out. But now you don't have the crowds like you used to. The people they're not participating like that much anymore. Miss Mintz, the bishop's position is the easiest job ever. Just parade around in a suit and get paid millions. Yeah, paid millions, but you control billions. You're paid millions but control billions. And your pay is coerced. Your pay is coerced. The people are not just giving, it's coerced giving. Um, Baby Blue, this is why the FBI and the IRS really need to be involved in this corruption. The church would never do this because, first of all, the church and the organization are two different entities. Yeah, they're two different entities. Uh, the church is one side, the organization is the other, but the bishops have operated this to make the members think that it's all one and the same. Um, and that's why people continue to do what they do as they show their belief in the bishops being these men who represent all of heaven. Um, so, therefore, we still have a handful of people who believe in this stuff, and they're still listening to him tell them not to watch the videos. Larita says, LOL. and then C, Baby Blue, you're right. The show and the business, right? The show is the religious side, the business is the uh, organization side. Miss Mintz, mind you, followers, cry and shout when he arrives, almost like a Michael Jackson concert. Um, they used to, but if you talk to people now, you'll find that there's not really a lot of people crying and shouting. There's not a lot of people getting caught up. A lot of people are staring amongst those who's traveling and waiting for him to respond to the information that we're putting out. A lot of people don't know what to think because of the information we're putting out. So they're just waiting. And while we're waiting, they're waiting. While they're waiting, he's waiting because he and the council is also waiting to see whatever's going to happen. But their wait is worry. They're worrying so much that you can see it on them. And when they get up to speak, you can hear in their speeches that the people are not with them really like that anymore. They're not riding and jumping on their bandwagon as they talk. Um, so slowly but surely, we're seeing the shift. The remainder of the organization, it seems like they're turning around as well because of all this documentation that we're showing everybody. We're not making this stuff up. MB and NC, Miss Mintz. Well, Miss Mintz, Baby Blue, you cooking and bingo. Miss Mintz, make a copy of that list and send it to the police. Tell them they're holding you for ransom. um, Baby Blue, who will the sole trustee be? And who will be appointing the sole trustee? Because the members are not going to take their daddy, Brother Lewis. Being very real, sir. I hear you. But again, for all of you members, none of us knows what's going to happen. And I can't say it enough. If we if we don't think anything is going to happen, the only thing that I can tell you is to sit back and watch. Just sit back and watch.
But everyone will see in a few days. We'll see. But more importantly, he's got it. No matter what he does, we have to be okay with it because he knows what he's doing. Not just with the House of Prayer, with the Catholic community, the Mormon community, the Presbyterian community, the Muslim community, the Seventh day Adventist community. No matter what, who, where, he's got it. It's bad around the world, but he's got it. And no matter what happens, all we can do is do our part and sit back and wait to see what he's going to do with it. So um, we don't know at any given time what's going to happen. We don't know. Matter of fact, let me ask y'all this. If I tell myself that these people are never going to do anything, and I don't believe anything's going to come of anything, should I just stop and give up and do nothing at all? What if I did that last year? What if in August of last year, I said, you know what? This is pointless. Nothing's going to come of this. I'm going to just stop while I'm ahead. What if I did that? How many of you all would agree and you would tell me, go ahead and stop because nothing's gonna give, nothing's gonna change? I would like to see how many of you would agree with that course of action. Even now, if I say nothing's gonna ever change these people, he's still traveling, people still traveling with him, they're still raising money. I should just stop now. This is a waste of my time. How many of you all will agree with that assessment? And what would you say if I said, okay, y'all know what? I'm going to just stop. Forget this. They can have it. What would we do? So it's just, I'm interested to see exactly how y'all would think about that. But yeah, my point is all we can do is what we can do. If we can't control the situation, don't worry about it. If we can't turn a situation around, don't worry about it. If we can't fix it, don't worry about it. Just do what we can do and see what he does with it. But yeah, a few people have said that. However, fewer and fewer are saying that, while more and more are beginning to get the impression that maybe they will go in there and surprise everyone. One thing is for sure, more and more and more and more people are supporting what we're doing. Less and less and less and less people are supporting what he's doing. So no matter how we cut it, we're still looking good and he's still looking worse, right? So all we can do is just wait. Um, Ms. Mintz, I'm sorry, grateful for it all. After this year's Memorial Day, there should be no more honoring of bishops. Hopefully, um, if things do change in our favor, then we'll be looking at going uh, in certain directions. But people will have to agree because all these things going forward will be up to the people. Things will be transparent. People will have their hand involved in the decision making process. But again, we would have to see. Ms. Mintz, what tickles me is the general counsel walking around like they're so busy with so much work to do. Yes, a lot of work when you're crooked and corrupt. Yeah, but they have to put on this show, and you're right. It really is comical to watch them, especially in the General Assembly when they're just walking around looking at papers, whispering to one another, and go back and then come forward. You have to take up and waste so much time while appearing to be occupied. You're right. And this is year in and year out. um, B. Mevdeman, Pastor, they're all corrupt. And I thank you so much for exposing it. Absolutely. We're grateful that um, we're grateful that we have had the opportunity to do what it is that we're doing. We're grateful that he allowed us to find what we found, to catch what we've caught, so that we can share with the people. And so now we're completely flabbergasted because the impact has been tremendous. The feedback has been enormous. Um, the activities around the organization, all over the place, people are not participating, not contributing, not giving. And I continue to say it's hard for you all to see that sitting from where you are. But if y'all were to travel, y'all would see the people not there like they used to. You can see the floor. There was a time when you couldn't see the floors in the house of prayer. Not only can you see the floor, you can sit in the pews almost anywhere in the house. There's space on the pews for you to sit when you walk in. Unheard of. The Love March, nowhere near like it was. Boom, 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 boom. Over. The Youth March, not even called a Youth March anymore, a March of the Children of Return. Hardly anybody getting in it. So again, I will say, um, all around the organization, the impact has been enormous, and we're just sitting back. We're grateful because we're hearing about it, we're seeing it. People texting and calling, sometimes while they're in service. Sometimes we're actually listening to the service, and it's dead, dead. So no, the people, they're not they're not paying attention to this stuff anymore. Um, so y'all just keep sitting back and watching, and we'll see what happens. Um, will the news crew be out there? Right now, we don't know. We haven't set certain things up because we don't want to give any indicators away. We don't want to allow Mr. Cunningham and individuals around him to know quite yet what we're doing. We don't want them to get an edge on what we're doing. Um, and we're still actually trying to determine which direction we're going to go with certain things. So right now, so far, we're not sure. Miss Mintz, grateful for it all. He may show up to collect his cash. um, oh, wait a minute. I missed that. Mr. Cunningham might not attend the General Assembly this year. Well, let me tell you, the bishop has never had to be there. Never had to be there. But the bishop put inside of the Constitution when they amended it that the General Assembly is composed of the bishop's presence. So now the bishop, according to the Constitution, now he's got to be present. The problem there is the bishop has never really been present. He's been present for a portion of the General Assembly, and that's the final portion. So by the men on the council operating as if they're getting work done and they're doing whatever they want, and you're over here doing nothing, falling asleep. But then he comes in, and it's like, okay, so now we got talking about this and that. This is going on. That's going on for maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and less than an hour, or just at an hour, a little bit more than an hour, then he's gone. All of that's by design. So you will be surprised to hear the minutes coming from those who attend the General Assembly this year. We're anticipating it's not going to be like any other General Assembly. And again, we'll see exactly how it goes afterwards, and we'll share more when we see what the people do there. But yeah, money shop collectors cash. That's only for the services. Um, Grateful for it all. It says, yeah, man, Miss Mintz. All things money. Hey, good to see you. I can only imagine how much money is collected on Saturday night's Love March on Memorial Weekend. Yeah. It used to be a lot of money. Um, but now, like I said, it's dwindling, it's dropping. And this is why Mr. Cunningham's been going around traveling, talking about praise, worship, and sacrifice, because the money's dropping, and it's still dropping. Tithes has dropped like a rock. People not paying tithes around the house of prayer like that no more. Um, Same thing with Love Gift. Same thing with G Class. Again, when you look at uh, the audience, the congregation size, it's just not there. Now he's beginning to walk in, and the people not yelling and screaming and hollering. At least not like they were. And it seems that people are reacting to the videos. That might not be the case primarily, but a lot of people are saying, as a result of the videos and the TikTok shorts and the documents that's being circulated and the protests that some of the committee members put together, word is going out and people are responding. So we're grateful for all of this. But Saturday nights used to be, but now it's plummeting. Miss Mintz, at All Things, yeah, he was paid enough to get some new shiny rims for his new Maybach. That was bad. It was terrible because you got rid of the rims on the Maybach. I don't know what he did with them, or maybe even had them customized by the shop. But he had some others put on. There can't be an oversight committee. If there is, they must be very, very incompetent. Yeah, if there is, then it's just to say that they have one. But yeah, of course, they're complicit to what it is that he's doing, right? They're certainly not doing their job, which is why I talked about that other video earlier. If you watch that, then everybody will see. Not only are they not doing their jobs, but you're easily going to be held accountable. The lies of him and her. For any personal inquiries you'd rather not share here, please direct all questions or concerns to the email address. We stand for right at 2024 at gmail.com. Thank you, lies of him and her. Miss Mintz, these bishops are worse than a drug dealer. Yikes. In fact, I'm going to Actually, because of what they're doing, I concur. Um, they're hurting people everywhere, everywhere. Um, the ones who's inside, the ones who's outside, the ones who looking for help, the ones who know individuals who need help, everywhere. Everyone is impacted and affected by these men and the communities that the House of Prayer is in, negatively impacted. Miss Mintz, Miss Gangsta Boo Madison operates like a true mob boss. How she managed to position herself the way she did needs to be studied. Grateful for it all, that part. Grateful for it all, false prophet. Um, when all this is said and done, we will understand more about how different people did what. We'll understand more about what took place to allow certain things. Um, Jamal says, it's sad, broken down buses. Yeah. All these other things that we're dealing with. Um, again, this is the need to get it all done and out of the way, period. We can be immediately turned completely around in this organization, be 50 times better than what it is right now. I don't know how to say that any clearer. Miss Mint said, Jamal, um, I wonder if we can report the broken down and unsafe buses to the Department of Transportation. Department of Transportation. Jamal says, at Miss Mint, you probably can look up the US DOT number and you can see if any inspections done on buses as well. I have a link for that too. Oh, wow, Jamal. I have the US DOT number. Wow. Miss Mintz, Jamal, we should look into that. Our members, especially our children, need to be safe when traveling, right? Exactly. Karine, please hear him, dear hearts, because if you don't, you'll regret it. And when you do, and things change, you'll be jumping for joy. Yeah, I don't know how to say it any further. I can't paint a picture for anybody, and I'm not trying to persuade, convince, or sell anybody on any ideas. The things that I'm saying, which really it should be a no-brainer, right? What we're saying is to stop these men will fix the problems in our organization. I don't know why people don't get it. To move out the way will bring immediate change. That's it. So yeah, thank you for that comment, and hopefully the people hear it. Jamal says, most definitely, I can pull up a report and share if you want. I'm grateful for Paul says, exactly. Kenneth said, Houston, we have a problem. LOL. The lies of him and her. It's time to wake up, members. It's time to wake up, members. The General Assembly is our moment to show our true power as members. We're taking back what we deserve. This assembly belongs to the members, not the General Council, right? It belongs to the people, not the bishop. It belongs to the people, not Miss Madison. Again, you all watch that other video I told you about. If y'all like that other video, you're going to enjoy that. Miss Smith, someone needs to take a picture of that bathroom commode if it's still down. This is ridiculous and just plain out negligent. The members deserve better than this filth. Yeah, I believe it's still there. I don't believe it's been fixed yet. Talking about 6 and M Street. Brother Perry, hey, um, no way. They may not be official, but changes have been and are being made as a result of your efforts, indubitably. Oh, thank you. um, yeah, again, I just need everyone to stop and think about this for a moment. If we were not bringing awareness, we meaning anybody, if we were not bringing awareness to the membership of the organization about the things that's going on, the things taking place, where would we be right now? Would we be closer to problems being resolved, or would we have exponentially even more problems to deal with? This has been a tremendously huge effort, and we're seeing results all over the organization, all over the organization. And it's not us, it's our Heavenly Father. He knows what He's doing, and we can see what He's doing. So thank you, Brother Perry. Appreciate that. Blanche, as my dear Brother Lewis, you couldn't stop if you wanted to. It's, my conscience would eat me up. My conscience would eat me. I can't rest. I wouldn't be able to rest easy knowing that this is going on and I walk away. I would not be able to rest easy. I can't, I couldn't. You're right. I couldn't. This is what has come to you because you're the right one for the job. You're trusted because you have not wavered and your mission is so clear. I've been following all this because it's factual guidance. I can feel what I'm hearing because it's about truth with receipts. Yeah. Oh, let me show y'all. I'm gonna go into this later. I'm just gonna show y'all real quick. 1 second. Here. I went to pick some things up today. And you just said that. I'm not going to go into it. But remember, I told y'all I have check stubs that show the general counsel will lie in a heartbeat. And they lie to the bishops in a heartbeat. And these men that are bishops come off the general counsel. Remember, I told y'all, I looked at Mr. Cunningham in his eye time and time and time again, called him a liar, called the council liars, called them clowns. Now, I wasn't insulting them. I was telling them, y'all turned this court into a circus. This has nothing to do with soul salvation. Anyway, you just reminded me, today I found this 2012, 2013 deposit slips from my checking in San Antonio. And the general counsel they lied and covered up the fact that they had these records. I'm not supposed to have this. These are deposit slips, and I can show the amounts. And all of these deposit slips from San Antonio showing once again that the general counsel lied in their report. Mr. Cunningham, governing attorney. Here, (2011, 2012). Now, all these records people, I don't have anything to hide. All these things I kept because there's not much that I throw out just in case situations. And my point is that we have men sitting at the top that you can't trust, that will lie at the drop of a dime. They don't give you anything to support their comments, their statements, to show you anything, because they can't back their word up, because they lie all the time. Mr. Cunningham and these men, even Miss Madison, they lie all the time. All the time. Same thing with Mr. Bailey. Just now, the information that I've been getting, other individuals coming with other facts, and people, this is done. It's over. It's over. So I thank you, Blanche, that you just reminded me so that I could show you more, that we have more. And I forgot about it. But I pulled out some more books, some more records. I have my folders and my books from 1999 when I went to the seminary for the first time. At some point in time, I will share with you what it is that we cover. It's an embarrassment. And then we're calling ourselves graduates, graduating from, anyway, I have all kinds of evidence to prove and back up and support the things that I'm sharing. And now we're uncovering things downtown in these municipality buildings and other venues that I'm not going to tell you about, where we're uncovering more information. It's just, Mr. Cunningham, he knows it's done. And members, I'm just telling you all, again, y'all should sit back and be thankful and excited and thrilled, because we've never been here in the history of the organization. We've never been here. He knows what he's doing. He's got it. So just sit back and keep watching. Miss Mintz, seriously, the daddy deity must go. Daddy go home. Daddy go home. Daddy go home and stay there. Jesus deserves all the praise. God is the only daddy we will ever need. 100%. Put my tickets and everything else in that basket. Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Mintz. Wally says, well said at Mintz. LMBO. Laughing. Grateful for it all. At Miss Mintz, I agree. I'm not mad, I'm happy. Do you think Cunningham will interject at the beginning of the General Assembly regarding what you've been teaching in the videos to invoke fear? By the time we get done, the members should understand at that time, y'all don't need to fear him. He needs to be put into check. And the members will know all this time, this is the same thing as Louis Anderson. So you see me, I'm washing lettuce. 2 weeks from now, I'll be on fries. And a few months from there, assistant manager. No, he said years. And then that's where the big bucks start rolling. My point is this. Louis Anderson was washing lettuce at McDowell's restaurant, right? The burger joint. Mr. Cunningham coming into the General Assembly trying to intimidate people is the equivalent of you going into McDowell's and being intimidated by Louis Anderson washing lettuce. The CEO has absolutely zero power over the General Assembly. Absolutely zero. And by the time that General Assembly come up, the people will understand you should have never been afraid of him. He should have always been afraid of you. Mr. Bailey, not going to tell you what was in that meeting. Not yet. I will say this. No. I think I shared one time. This, the bishops of the house of prayer, they don't have the authority to instill fear in the people. Okay? They don't have the authority to instill fear in the people. So when the people go in there this year, the people should be going in there like pit bulls. You lied and you've cheated. All these years, you've scammed us. This is our year. And I can't wait. That should be in the minds of the people. Not the faces. Not the faces. You should go in. You need me to, okay. You need, what, I'm sorry, what is that? Yes, okay, all right. And what, how can I, okay, thank you. That's how you need to go in the door. Subservient, subject to everything they say, no matter what. Right there. But then after roll call, everybody's going to know what to do and what to say. The problem for Mr. Cunningham and the councilman is they will have no idea what's going to happen. And that's why they're terrified. They will have no idea. So the last thing is this. You all need to understand that with all of this taking place, this is the third General Assembly after May 2023. That makes 4. This is the third General Assembly. And as a result of all of this, the longer this goes, the worse for Mr. Cunningham. And I can't say that enough. So when I say he knows what he's doing, I'm now understanding the things that we're coming up with, the things that we're discovering, the documents that we're getting, the things that we're seeing. Last week, some of the paperwork that we found last week, we would have never known the week before that. We would have never known. He knows what he's doing. We are excited. We're not mad. We're not angry. We're not even worrying. We have never, ever been in the predicament that we're in right now. We have the whole shebang in our hands. Mr. Cunningham, Miss Dolores, the council, they know it's just a matter of time. They know it's over. It's over. And for you members, just continue to sit back and watch. You'll see also. But yeah, I'm not mad. I'm happy. That was a very good question. Ms. Mintz says, yeah, great question. Absolutely. Tone 21, Texas. Hey, Tony. That was our last year as a congregation too, Brother Lewis. LOL. Yeah. Uh, 2012, 2013 was our last year because I called Mr. Bailey and asked him about letting the lease go. And I asked to let the lease go because the members had seen a lot of activity coming from the council, a lot of activity coming from the chairmans, and a lot of things that was being said by Mr. Bailey. And quite frankly, people were just fed up. They had enough. And what they're seeing can't possibly be right because this is supposed to be the servant of the Most High. And these are supposed to be holy men. But they're seeing lies, they're seeing attacks, all kinds of stuff. So how can you continue to push forward when you're seeing as a new member that this can't be true? We are our own family. We were having a ball as the congregation, but we were having so many problems from the leaders and then from the bishop coming out in the open saying things based on what Mr. Cunningham and the council was lying to him about. So we had blueprints being drawn up. The members were as excited because we're getting ready to have a house of prayer built, and apparently Mr. Bailey is going to build a cathedral. Also, they just saw lies and lies. And yeah, that was the last when I asked if I can let the lease go. He said he approved it. I mean, you can't really say no because I'm gonna let it go anyway. I'm giving you the respect to give you the heads up. That was that. I told y'all about Mr. Walker and Mr. Crawford coming out to San Antonio to meet with me, and that was that. So with that in mind, yeah, y'all see it. You see this envelope is a whole lot thicker with a whole lot more deposit slips than this envelope because I let it go. I wasn't going to continue trying to push for the members to stay when I'm seeing that people are lying on me from the council, and they're lying on the members from the council, and all these things being said about San Antonio all around the organization coming from the council and the bishop. So I said, okay, I don't understand it, but it's in your hands. Now, as I look back, I understand what he was doing. He was using all of that to prepare me for today as we are unraveling and undoing everything from the top of this organization. Everything. Right? Uh, absolutely, Tone. Thank you for sharing. Jamal, I sent you email too for your information. Okay. I'll check that out. Miss Mintz, thank you. Jamal, you're a gem. Absolutely, Miss Mintz. um, they're doing some things and knocking it out in the park. No, you're welcome, Miss Mintz. I'll send the bus you USDOT information too. Thanks, Jamal. Thanks, Jamal. Miss Mintz, all those deposit slips, yeah. uh, y'all have no idea. The members of San Antonio was just, they were just all over the place. They was just doing so much. We had a lot of fun. We had a blast. Um, uh, just going out together, traveling together, enjoying things. I mean, we just let the council, they had to kill it. They had to kill it because of jealousy. And Apostle Cunningham, Mr. Cunningham, not an apostle. These men are not apostles. These men were never apostles. But Mr. Cunningham had a huge hand in killing San Antonio. And now he's where he is because he snaked his way up there. And that's why he cannot afford to allow these things to come into the open in front of, listen, the meeting in the house of prayer is not about a meeting of the house of prayer. The meeting for him in the house of prayer is about me talking to the last handful of people that he has left who has not heard the truth about what's going on with me and him and Mr. Bailey in the General Assembly. He knows that he's got a grip on members of the organization that does not know what happened. And for me to come in there, I can expose him, I can expose them, I can expose the former bishops, I can bring the whole roof down. He knows that. And he had a hand in bringing down what we did in San Antonio. And so, yeah, it was a lot of receipts, deposit slips. Larita, after all this time, it makes no sense to stop. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I just wanted to see, if we stop, where would that leave you all? But by continuing, slowly but surely, more and more around the organization are jumping on board. Jumping on board. I can't tell you all the positions because can't give away things, but we're looking really, really good. Ms. Mintz coming to America. Yeah, I'm washing lettuce. And it's the same as him coming into the General Assembly trying to intimidate people. No, you can't intimidate nobody. The members will have all the force and the power to back them up when they walk in there that day. 100%. Tone, for being a small congregation, we were out giving bigger houses. Absolutely. And this is a member. Look at his username. Tone 210, Texas. That's San Antonio area code. I still have my area code from San Antonio. I never changed it. Mr. Cunningham got my phone number. Councilman got my phone number. People all over the organization got my phone number. I don't have nothing to hide. I never changed it. And like he said, I was telling you all as well, the members there was doing it up. Fast sacrifice sometimes would be over $100. The council asked us, how are you doing what you're doing? The members meant what they were doing. They meant what they believed in. I meant what I believed in, but I didn't know at the time that we were indoctrinated. But they meant it. And when we went to baptisms, you would see the members of San Antonio out on the parking lot shouting. The members of San Antonio, after everybody was done. So when it came to the money, that we were given, Mr. Bailey was going to build that cathedral. And so now you all know the rest of the story. After the few videos that I told and shared with you what was going on with San Antonio. So yeah, here we are now, and we're going to see what happens in the General Assembly. We're going to prepare you all for what's going on, for what's coming, and to be able to walk in there like a boss. In the meantime, y'all see Tone, y'all can reach out to him um, as well. Anytime y'all see him on the line, him and the others, just, send them a shout out, because these are the guys that were traveling to California and running services. In fact, Tony, people was talking to me about you all yesterday, how they remember y'all running services in LA for convocation. So the thing is, people, there's nothing for us to hide. We're transparent. We're out in the open, and we're looking for the members to understand what we're talking about, so that you will understand the importance of coming forward and doing what we need to do to fix the problems in this organization, because the power has been given to us to fix it. With that in mind, that's all of our comments. Tone, it's good to see you again. I've been ripping and running, haven't been able to call you guys. But with that in mind, I will be reaching out. In the meantime, it's almost 3.5 hours, 10:30. We hope that you all enjoy the rest of your evening. We hope that you enjoy your work week coming up. For those of you who are in school, we hope you enjoy your school week, as our children are wrapping up another school year within this next week. And the week after next, they'll be closing out the school year, at least here. And we're preparing for another summer coming up. In the meantime, once again, thank you all for hanging out with us. We hope that you enjoyed as much as we did. We hope that you enjoyed the information that we covered. We hope that you understood it. And more importantly, we hope that the delegates understood it more, so that they have all the more reason to walk in there and do what needs to be done in order to fix this issue, this problem. Tone says, likewise, thank you for that, boss. We'll be talking to you soon. In the meantime, everybody enjoy your evening, enjoy your night, have a wonderful night, and we'll be seeing you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.